morning, everyone. That's not good enough. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you all to the 2023 Diversity Forum hosted by the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement. I'm LeVar Charleston. I'm the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Vice Provost, and Chief Diversity Officer, and also direct the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Educational Achievement, more affectionately known as the DDEEA. And so it's my honor to welcome you all here today, whether you're joining us in person, which the room is full. I'm glad to see that. Glad to see all your bright faces. And based on the rumble here, people seem to be excited and awake and ready for today's work. We're going to call it work for right now. So I just want to do a little pulse check really quick. There's also people virtually too, so we thank you all. We know you all see us, and so thank you for joining us. Do a little pulse check. Who's joining us today as a member of the UW-Madison campus community, whether you're faculty, staff, or student? Raise your hand. All right. There's a lot of people. Who's here from the greater Madison community? Raise your hand. A few folks. And then how about outside of Madison? Anybody here from outside of Madison? Those are all the people on. Oh, a couple of people. Yes. Good to see you. And then we also have people joining us virtually from all over the country and other countries as well. We regularly have folks from 30 different states and about 5 or 6 different countries. So super excited that you all decided to join us today, and we appreciate you all being here. Now in its 23rd year, a Diversity Forum theme, Bridging the Divide, Realizing Belonging While Engaging Difference, is especially timely right now. We recognize how recent events in the Middle East have left a significant impact on our community. Now is a pivotal moment for us to truly explore the intricate roles that religion, politics, culture, and beliefs play in shaping our intersecting identities, and to uncover how we can move forward collectively despite our differences. We look forward to diving deeper into this topic tomorrow during our main session, Religious Identity and Belonging, a conversation with faith leaders. Rabbi Andrea Steinberger, Reverend Erica Liu, and Professor Asifa Karashi Londes will discuss ways in which we can come together and really see each other by recognizing each other's humanity, communities, families, and passions. These are the ties that bind us, transcending the differences that may seem to divide us. I know many of you are tired, but you're still here, and you still showed up. And you showed up because equity, diversity, inclusion, belonging, social justice, racial justice are concepts, are constructs that are really important to you and important values for you. So thank you again for being here. I'd like to take a moment to recognize that the University of Wisconsin-Madison occupies ancestral Ho-Chunk land, a place their nation has called Dejope since time immemorial. We recognize the circumstances that led to the forced removal of the Ho-Chunk, and this history of colonization informs our work and collaboration and progress towards a shared future. We recognize and respect the inherent sovereignty of the Ho-Chunk and the 11 other First Nations within the boundaries of the state of Wisconsin. As November marks the national celebration of Native American Heritage Month, please take a moment to remember the many legacies of displacement, migration, violence, and settlement that bring us here today. Later in our program, Dr. Carol Lee Dodge will give a Native Nations tribute. Dr. Carol Lee Dodge Francis, I apologize, will give us a Native Nations tribute. Dr. Dodge Francis is chair of the Civil Society and Community Studies Department at the School of Human Ecology right here at UW, and is the first Native woman to chair a department here at the university. I certainly look forward to hearing her. I would like to also acknowledge all military veterans of the United States Armed Forces who are here with us today. Our nation celebrated Veterans Day this past Saturday, November 11th, and it was a day to honor those who put their lives on the line so that we can be assured the freedoms we currently enjoy. You all swore a solemn oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, and your service is greatly appreciated. Thank you for fighting for America's freedom, and thank you for your continued efforts and sacrifices to maintain that freedom. So lots of times we go around and people hear DDEEA and they think it's just, student programs. So I'd like to just tell you a little bit about the division that's hosting this event. And I'm super proud to be leading the DDEEA. We work to strengthen our position as a central resource for the community as we continue to look for ways to advance inclusion, belonging, and excellence. We operationalize what we refer to as the 4 C's, which stands for convener, catalyst, consultant, and community builder. As conveners, think of us as the glue that helps to bring people together, fostering collaboration and strategic partnerships. Our goal is to unite individuals and organizations to work together toward the relentless pursuit of excellence and belonging. As catalysts, we actively nurture a culture of innovation within the realm of excellence, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. We champion innovative practices and raise awareness of promising approaches with the aim of sparking positive change across our campus and beyond. As consultants, we stand proudly as a central gateway to resources related to equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. We're here to guide and empower our campus community in strategic planning, armed with data and insights related to diversity and excellence. And finally, the heart of our work lies in community building. We strive to create spaces and opportunities for meaningful community engagement both on campus and beyond, much like we're doing here today. And so as I begin my 3rd year as the Deputy Vice Chancellor, I am continuing my quest to dig deeper, largely informed by a campus community willing to share even the hardest truths about experiences here on and around campus. We have work to do, but I'm excited about the progress that we are making, and our Chancellor will talk a little bit more about that a little bit later. What the DDA team learns from campus partners helps guide our priorities and our collective work going forward. And one of the things we've learned, or we've heard from people, is that people actually value this forum. This has become very clear to me based on our over 3,000 registrants to this forum. Let's give yourselves a... And that's the record for the Diversity Forum, too. So over the next 2 days, you'll hear from inspiring, thought-provoking speakers and have the opportunity to learn from and engage with one another. It is my hope that you will leave here energized and eager, carrying a passion to discover new, impactful ways to foster inclusive and welcoming working and learning environments. Let's use this dedicated time to really listen. Say that again, to really listen, to build valuable connections and explore innovative strategies, to be sure we can bridge the divides that challenge us when we work together collectively. This kind of diversity is what breeds innovation and excellence. And so as you engage in dialogue, I encourage you to think about how we can navigate our own beliefs and what makes us change our minds. That's exactly what this year's Go Big Read and UW-Madison challenges us to do. How Minds Change, The Surprising Science of Belief, Opinion, and Persuasion by David McRaney explores some of our greatest strengths, the ability to think about things differently, update our own assumptions, and entertain other points of view. The book shows us how choosing to initiate conversation rather than debate empowers us to harness this strength, fostering an inclusive and welcoming environment for everyone. This work is challenging, but not impossible. You may have heard me say it before. I believe that an impossibility is only a possibility that we do not yet understand. And so now it's my pleasure to introduce the Twin Tail Singers, a Native student powwow drum group that has been in existence since the 1960s. You may have known them from their previous name, Madtown Singers. I am particularly honored to have them here during Native American Heritage Month, so please join me in welcoming the Twin Tail Singers. Wasn't that wonderful? Let's give another round of applause to the Twin Tails singers. And to all of the staff of the American Indian Studies program for continuing the excellence of this program that is now more than 50 years old. So awesome. Thank you again. Before we begin our formal sessions, I'd like to make you aware that Meaningful Marks will be providing visual note-taking as a way to graphically capture key points throughout the forum. They will be over there, and if you all were here last year, you know the value and impact of that work. So thank you again for being here. For those that are joining us virtually, the digital artwork by Meaningful Marks will be available on our website next week, so you will be able to see what is captured here graphically throughout the course of the next couple days. And now, I am very pleased to introduce to you the Chancellor of this great university, Dr. Jennifer Mnookin. Chancellor Mnookin's reputation as an innovative and talented administrator precedes her, and has certainly been on view here at UW-Madison. I can personally attest that we are in a great place with her leadership, and I'm glad that she is here at the helm of this institution. Chancellor Mnookin has spent her academic career at top public universities across the nation. Prior to leading UW-Madison, she was dean of the UCLA School of Law, where she helped to strengthen the school's academic excellence, increase both the diversity and the academic strength of the student body, and build new programs in areas ranging from law and technology to human rights. Chancellor Mnookin is one of the nation's most cited legal scholars in the area of evidence law and has served on several national committees examining the use of forensic science in court. She also has served on the faculty at the University of Virginia and Harvard. She holds degrees from Harvard, Yale, and MIT. And at UW-Madison, Chancellor Mnookin is known for her energy and passion and for pushing boundaries to bring the university to new levels of excellence. She is leading initiatives to expand the faculty in strategic areas and to help students of all backgrounds and perspectives learn to engage across differences, an essential part of a high-quality university education. She is also committed to both fostering a culture of entrepreneurship and creativity among faculty, staff, and students, and to strengthening UW-Madison's commitment to innovation for the public good, the Wisconsin idea. Please join me in welcoming Chancellor Jennifer Mnookin.
Thank you so much, Dr. Charleston, and thanks as well for the really phenomenal work that you and your team have done to bring us another outstanding diversity forum, and the work that you do every day to make this university a place of inclusive excellence. I would say that deserves a round of applause. And good morning, everyone. Hey, that was pretty good. I won't even make you do that again. It's great to be here. I'm so happy to see so many of you here at Union South, and I know that many of you are also joining us online. Welcome to the 2023 Diversity Forum. Let's also give one more round of applause for our tremendously talented student as the Twin Tails singer. I'll get the chance to introduce her formally at the end of my remarks, but let's also give a preliminary thanks and very warm welcome to Dr. Danielle Allen, who is both a brilliant leader and a very accomplished scholar, and I'm really thrilled that she's with us today, and I know you all are too, so let's give her a preliminary warm welcome. Now, I really think that this year's conference theme is incredibly timely. Bridging the Divide invites us to think about how can we ensure that this great university, not to mention our nation, can be a place that works to welcome all points of view and allows for free discussion of ideas, while simultaneously helping people to develop a strong sense of belonging so that they can flourish. This question, especially in terribly polarized times like these, of how we can bridge the divide, calls on us to ask a variety of other questions. Here at our university, how can we create community? How can we create the possibilities for productive disagreement alongside a shared commitment to thoughtful engagement? And how can we give people the skills and tools to flourish even in moments that feel terribly challenging, chaotic, and sometimes quite painful? These are important questions, though I fear that they're sometimes easier to ask than to answer. And that's certainly true in any community that does have and contain lots of difference, people of all kinds of backgrounds, races, religions, identities, perspectives, and points of view. All of these are necessary for creativity and innovation. Our diversity makes us stronger. But there are times when it also makes building community a step more challenging, but equally, even more important. So I want to take a minute to say a special thanks to all of you here today who are truly working campus-wide to help all members of this community feel supported and safe, and that they have a sense of connection, and that UW-Madison is for them. Thank you for that. As a top university, we take it as a given that it's important to engage with ideas different than our own. We talk about it here in our classic language about the fearless sifting and winnowing through alone, the truth can be found. And that's important. But we also know that there are times that words can hurt, that they can be difficult and painful and wound. We're seeing it right now as we grapple with the current conflict in the Middle East and what that's doing, roiling campuses when people bring such different perspectives to this part of the world. I've called on our own community to exercise the precious right to free speech, and it is a precious right, as is the right to protest, but to do so with attention to the ways that words and actions can divide us and feel intimidating. The leaders at our new Center for Interfaith Dialogue, who represent a wide range of faith traditions, have urged us, in their words, to speak freely but with humility, and to act strongly but to do no harm. Several of those leaders will be part of a panel discussion that will be on the program tomorrow afternoon, focusing on religious identities and fostering belonging. And I think that will be a very worthwhile session, and I hope that many of you will be able to attend. We can, we should, we must call for decency, civility, recognizing each other's fundamental humanity, even when we don't agree with each other. But it's also true that at the end of the day, those have to come from within. And we won't always find them, not in the broader world, and not always here at UW-Madison either. The great author and civil rights activist Maya Angelou once observed, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." So how do we help those in our community be able to do that? How do we give people the skills and tools not to be reduced or to feel reduced in the face of situations, speech, or ideas that are painful and difficult and contrary to some of their core beliefs? These skills aren't something we're born with, but they are something we can learn how to do a step better. And so one of the things for us to work on here at UW-Madison is how to make that a piece of a UW-Madison education so that our graduates can be bright lights in a world that sometimes feels pretty dark. We launched a pilot program last month that I think is pretty exciting in this regard. It's designed by Dean Diana Hess and her team at the School of Education in conjunction with the Discussion Project, which I know many of you know about. It's called the Deliberation Dinners. And in this pilot phase, it brings together 100 students who are diverse in every way to share 7 meals in small groups of about 10 students each, the same 10 students for each of them, and 7 challenging conversations over the course of the semester, facilitated by trained members of our faculty. When we asked for student volunteers, the response was overwhelming. Our students recognized that these skills are important, and they wanted to have this opportunity to engage with each other in this way. It's just a pilot this year, and we're a research university, so we'll also look at it and study and see what it does. But I think it's an exciting moment of a way of creating spaces focused on this kind of engagement. And it's just one of a number of accomplishments in the last year that's made possible by the kind of investment that many of you have made to building the kind of inclusive excellence that we absolutely need to make fundamental to who we are and what we do. Some of the other things that have happened include the opening of the Rebecca M. Blank Center for Campus History last month to help us learn from our past and strive to ensure that all students and alums are aware of a fuller history of this university, so that by looking candidly at our past, the good, the bad, the troubling, the ugly, the hopeful, we can work to build a better future. And I'm really pleased that that now is a permanent part of our institution. We also, I think I have a slide or two here, maybe? There, excellent. We've also been installing public art to recognize and celebrate the extraordinary 12,000-year history of the Ho-Chunk people on this land. I hope you've seen the beautiful sculptures outside of the Bakke Center and Van Hise Hall, and the beautiful banners we installed last week at Bascom Hall. We've also welcomed the most racially diverse freshman class in our history this year. And we've hired 46 new faculty this year who identify as people of color. Our students this year, our freshmen, also come from every county of Wisconsin except one, every state of the nation except one. We're missing Iron County and Maine. So I don't know why. We'll try to fill those next year. And so many countries from around the globe as well. For every person in this room and beyond who's working tirelessly to help us make real progress at creating a diverse community here along these and many other dimensions, I see that, we see that, and we need to keep working in this way. We're also working on ways to honor the amazing legacy of a truly gifted leader we lost this year. Ada Deer dedicated her life to connecting across difference and forging a path for others to follow. She was the first member of the Menominee Nation to earn a degree at UW-Madison. She was the first Native American woman to head the U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs. And that list of firsts goes on and on. I feel deeply honored that I did get the chance to meet her and spend some time with her in my first year here at UW. She inspired so many people, and we were privileged to have her teach on this campus for many years. As she said about her own accomplishments, well, I just did what I thought was right, and a lot of people came along with me. Not a bad recipe for leadership. This polarized moment in which we're living can stoke divisions. It can cause people to question whether they really belong. It can cause people to question whether they can even engage respectfully with people who have such views so different from their own. And yet at the same time, if we don't find ways to bridge the divide, we risk spinning off into separate communities that have no links to each other, no understanding, and from which it's too easy to just demonize other humans who also want to do well and do right. And so I hope we can find ways to speak freely, but with humility, that we can find ways to act strongly, but to have sensitivity to trying to not harm others. I hope we can find ways to reach across with understanding and empathy, and be united by our shared identity as part of one of this nation and this globe's great universities. Let us work to create the place here that the great author and UW alumna Bell Hooks envisioned when she said, and I quote, "I want there to be a place in the world where people can engage in one another's differences in a way that is redemptive, full of hope, and possibility. If we can join together with hope and empathy across our differences, across our identities, across our disciplines, I believe that we can make real steps toward being that place. And this two-day conversation is one step toward doing exactly that. Thank you very much.